welcome to another video of Vibing with Via. Today I'm going to be making some pork ribs. It's literally a half a rack, and as usual, once I'm about to record, you know the drill, there's somebody's dog that's gonna start barking. Anyway, we have our pork rib here. It's two little pieces. This one is for a little kid and this one is for an adult. So you know, it's a Lenten season, of course. A lot of persons might give up meat, but nonetheless, we're still gonna be making our dishes, and you don't have to do it during or cook it during Lent. You can do it whenever you please. So let's go. We're gonna jump right into this. We won't overdo it with the talking. So we have a number of ingredients that we're gonna be using today, guys. I have some mustard powder, black pepper, ginger. I have garlic, paprika, Kiehl's pimento, can't miss that. I have made some cayenne pepper. I also have some table salt, and of course this is a nice little thingy-majiggy that I've discovered. It's the Grace Mango Scotch Bonnet hot pepper sauce, which is really good in the cooking. And I have a little bit of olive oil. So step number one is that I really want to just drizzle the pork with a little bit of olive oil, and the purpose of the olive oil is just to allow the seasoning to basically stick. So I'm going to rub this around on the meat, and that's also going to give it a nice little coating when it's time. So I've gone ahead. I actually need to pick up this hand towel. All right, so I wanted to drain the excess water, hence I had the hand towel there. So we could go ahead and put the meat here. Let me pick that up. Okay, so we have our meat in place. Let's just put this to the side. All right, so this is nicely coated with the olive oil, and the olive oil is also going to give it a nice flavor towards the end. So I have my seasoning blend here. This is all the seasonings that I had mentioned initially, and I'm basically gonna whisk this around and then add it to the meat. Okay, so that's ready. So let's go. This is our seasoning blend here, and I'm just going to apply this to the meat. And this is how we want it. We really want every single piece to be coated. Of course, because of the olive oil, it's going to stick to it. You really don't have to rub it in too much. And we will do this on both sides. You can rub it in if you want. It's neither here nor there. Important thing is that all of the meat is covered with our seasoning blend. Don't mind if there's any that gets on your board, on your seasoning board or your cutting board. See, just basically tapping this. Make sure that every single piece, or every section rather, I'm saying every single piece, but that every section is coated. That's what's important. Just give it a light pat. And I won't bore you with this aspect of the process because I'll just flip it and do the same on the other side. This is what the meat looks like when we've added our first layer of seasoning. This looks good, right? You can tell that this is going to be delicious. Now, I want to kick things up a little bit more. And so what I'm going to be doing is to be adding what is a bourbon barrel smoked sea salt mix, which it looks like this. To be honest, there is going to be a scent coming through, like an aroma rather. That's a better word than scent, right? You know, words have meaning based on the context that they're used in. Not to say it's wrong, but the aroma that is going to be coming through with this will smell something like coffee. There's going to be some amount of bourbon. It has some smoked paprika that will come forward as well. And so if I'm not mistaken, there is a scent too that comes through like orange peel. So it's a number of things that's going to be coming out of this. And guess what? It is absolutely perfect because I'm going to be pairing this meat with this mango scotch bonnet pepper sauce that I spoke about. And I also have an apple. I'm going to be using a gala apple, an American apple. That's what I wanted to say. Gala apple specifically with this recipe. So you know me, I'm doing this thing on the fly and I'm hoping for the best. So let's see how it goes. Right, so we have our meat here. Let's just go in now with our next layer. And this is our bourbon spice that I'm adding here. For this one, I'm definitely not going to be rubbing it into the meat. I do believe that when the heat hits this, it's going to be caramelizing. I strongly believe that that's what's going to happen. It will have some amount of sugar in it, so it's going to work out perfectly fine. Can't wait to taste it. All right, guys, so on to my next step, which is just allow this to marinate for a little bit, and then I am going to be popping this bad boy in the oven. Here we have the ribs. I have placed them on a oven sheet, right? I lined it with foil paper simply because I know that once the caramelization process starts to happen, the baking tin is going to get really sticky and all of that. So to avoid all that trouble, I have placed aluminum foil here. Now I've also added a layer of baking sheet, and I've done that deliberately because this will aid in the moisture retention in the ribs so that it won't dry out. Now the debate is always out there whether to cover the ribs or not to cover the ribs, whether to put the ribs in individually wrapped foil packages. You could do that as well, foil paper that is. You could do that as well, but for today this is just literally a half rack of ribs. It's not gonna take me forever, and so for that reason I'm just gonna cover the entire thing here with foil paper. So it's a simple process. I'm gonna put the foil paper over it, and I'm going to be sealing the sides, and then I'm gonna be popping this into the oven at 375 degrees for probably around 1.5 to 2 hours. I'll check in at that time just to see what progress has been made. But this is how I've done it, just to create, like, you know, a foil house over the two little pieces. It's very small, so what's the point of just wrapping the entire thing around and all that jazz? So boom, I'm ready. Popping this in the oven now. Okay, so we're now working on the fruit topping for our pork. It's almost done, and so I'm basically caramelizing some apple here on the stove top. I'm gonna move this around and then towards the end I'll just pop in a little bit of lemon juice. This is what the pork ribs look like when it's done. You can see it has this nice little char on it that's coming from the bourbon seasoning. I'm sure you'd agree that this looks good. So we're going to be finishing this off now with our apple topping, and in 2 minutes I'm gonna plate this up. Looking really good. There you have it, guys. This is our oven barbecued ribs topped with a lovely apple salsa and drizzled with a little bit of dill. Bon appetit. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, share, comment, and of course subscribe.